Big Phil here, and we are here to discuss some World Cup and some United news. But I can never do it by myself, right? I'm joined by none other than Devin, CJ, and Zahir. How are you guys doing?
Great.
All good, all good, all good.
Not bad. Good afternoon to everybody.
Oh, blessings, everybody.
That's right. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the United Hour. And like I said, World Cup started a week ago, but we still got United stuff to discuss. But you know what? Let's start with some World Cup for the last week, right? Today we just saw Spain and Germany. We also saw Canada and Croatia, and even before that, we saw Morocco upset Belgium. And yesterday was who was yesterday? Argentina, Mexico. I know for sure that if Argentina had lost their game versus Mexico, that would have been Argentina out. But none other than Lionel Messi saves them, and a great goal from Enzo Fernandez. Right? Um, which match you guys want to touch on first with regards to the weekend? Argentina, Mexico, or any matches you want to touch on this on today, or you prefer to start Argentina, Mexico?
I would definitely want to touch on the Belgium game as well.
On which game?
Belgium.
Belgium.
Belgium versus Morocco. Okay, I didn't watch those highlights, but I guess you guys can let me know what went down in that Belgium Morocco game. So I guess we can start with that first. I know the result was 2-0 to Morocco, and I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised in terms of the way how Belgium approached the first game versus Canada. Canada were all over them, but Belgium still got the result. Morocco are a slightly more experienced and let's say seasoned team than Canada, got the result versus Belgium. Um, yeah, who were your standout players? Were you guys surprised at the result? Talk to me.
So one thing that really stood out to me ahead of time was Kevin De Bruyne's comments about the team. I had a feeling that that would not go down well with the side, where he basically came out and said that no, we're too old to win the whole thing. 2018 was our chance, and now that was our chance is gone. That kind of was confirmed today when Vertonghen responded to the comments where he said, "I guess our attack is just too old." Basically throwing shade right at De Bruyne for that as well too. With that being said, I think it really showed that Michi Batshuayi Batman cannot fill in for Lukaku in the way like he used to, and I would actually probably have to put them as the most disappointing side of the tournament so far.
No,
Because
I've always said this since 2018. I think Belgium are the most overrated team in the world, and people are still giving them this golden generation chance of winning the World Cup with so much talent that they have, right? And I've said it again. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Belgium, in my opinion, have been one of the most overrated teams in the last probably 10 years, right? They have quality players, but there's no chemistry amongst those guys, right? Um, I did see the comments from Kevin De Bruyne. Was Kevin De Bruyne wrong for saying those comments, or was it just bad timing?
I feel like
CJ,
it, I feel like it's wrong. It's wrong because of, like, I understand that he wants to be honest about it, and I guess I can see where you're coming from. But at the same time, you're in a competition. Even if like you're the most overrated team, you have somewhat some enough quality to make these games be different. I mean, ball didn't even kick yet. You're putting up a bad energy. I mean, even if you feel like that, you could say, well, we'll try our best. What we need to do is just take it one game at a time, and that was it. But no, you wanted to say we're too old. I mean, it would cause some kind of confusion and would, one could argue, upset the balance of the team because now everybody is looking at it different and your communication is going to be different. So Kevin De Bruyne was very wrong in terms of timing and what he said. So yeah.
What about
You know,
what are your thoughts out here?
further to that, I mean, when you think of somebody like De Bruyne, and I looked at Gundogan in the first game for Germany that they ended up losing after being ahead 1-0. And you can clearly see that these guys are on the field and they are frustrated because they cannot play the way they usually play for Man City. Kevin De Bruyne could be on the wings for Manchester City, close his eyes and cross a ball into the box, which he has done more than once, and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Haaland is going to pop up and put it into the back of the net. He can't do that with his national team. It's not happening for him. He's being frustrated. And I remember this was a point we used to make way back in the day with Dwight York, where the Dwight York that Manchester United used to have as a forward wasn't as effective for the strike force or the Soca Warriors, if you want to call them that. Because when you go from getting crosses from Ryan Giggs on one wing and David Beckham on the other wing, to coming down to Trinidad national team level, it was a hell of a different thing. I think now with so many stars not being able to gel and spend enough time with their national teams, the quality that they could exhibit or get from their compatriots on the national team is lacking. I'm not saying the man was right. As CJ said, he's wrong. This is a World Cup, and you can't do anything to pull down your team. Do that behind closed doors. Do that in the dressing room. Do that after the tournament. But I could kind of understand where his frustrations are coming from.
Fair enough, but I kind of echo what CJ said with regards to the energy, right? Because at the end of the day, you're an influential person in the Belgian squad. You're probably, in my opinion, the best midfielder in the world for the last probably 3 to 5 years, right? And with that kind of comment, you kind of if your teammates are looking up to you, if Belgian fans are looking up to you, and you come up with those type of comments, it's like, okay, well, who do we turn for inspiration, right? So Kevin De Bruyne right now was playing with some negative energy in his heart, and it kind of trickled down to some of the Belgian players as well too, right? But let's go to the match, right? Was it a well deserved win for Morocco? Were there chances that Belgium could have? Were there chances that Morocco could have gotten more goals? Were Morocco lucky? I didn't watch it, so you guys can tell me.
Um, Honestly, it wasn't based on really luck. Morocco just wanted it more because if you watch the game, they were unfortunate with the Hakim Ziyech um offside,
Hmm.
but they came back and they really took it to Belgium. I mean, for me, I think is Belgium deserved to get what they get because Belgium didn't really turn up. They didn't put that extra shift because looking at Kevin De Bruyne, I find it very wild how he'll say we're too old, but as you said, with best midfielder in the world, what's the difference between? I'm not saying there is a difference, but what is really the difference between I don't know, City and Belgium? Yes, maybe he saw that people weren't really taking their training serious. To say, if you watch Lukaku today, you can see Lukaku isn't really match fit. Really, he isn't match fit. But at the same time, you still have to push. You still have to do something. And I think what also probably is hurtful too, I'm not giving him an excuse, is that Roberto Martinez doesn't really have ideas with this Belgium side. If you look at it, really, I mean, he could have put Dries Mertens, he could have changed up certain tactics, but he really didn't do anything. But at the same time, there was enough quality even in the simple players that you don't really give ratings who had that quality to make a difference. Kevin De Bruyne passes were really off. So he wants to say we're too old, but at the same time, you're still putting in shifts for City. Why aren't you showing up for your national team? Who has it was in their golden generation. So for me, I think it was Iran deserved because Iran went in it with the right mentality, with the right work rate, and with the right tactics. So Iran deserved all of their 3 points. I don't care.
Iran or
Morocco,
Morocco?
Morocco,
No,
Morocco,
sorry,
Morocco.
Morocco. Sorry, this team's just showing the same
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
Well, that was another upset as well.
yeah, that was
Iran
another
versus
upset. Yeah,
yeah, that was a big upset.
yeah.
So
What,
So
what,
like
what was the next upset? It was Iran versus who?
Wales.
Wales.
Wales,
Okay.
yeah, and that's the thing. The World Cup is really showing that if you want it, you have to fight for it.
Is so the I guess was that how you wanted to say something?
Apart from the just fighting fit, I mean, if you look at what was going on, let's say 4 to 5 World Cups ago, the majority of the stars playing in foreign leagues came from certain big countries, right? The traditionally smaller countries would have had the majority of their players playing in their home domestic leagues. Yet now, when you have Japan playing Germany, the commentators were making a point that about 8 or 9 of the members of that Japan team are playing their football in Germany. So the global game has expanded. So apart from them wanting it more, they have now more players who are outside in top leagues, getting experience playing with top players, understanding their skill sets and abilities, and taking that knowledge back to their national teams when they have to run into them in a tournament. So literally, for example, we gotta keep harking back to the German game. The Japanese coach literally had 8 or 9 scouts on his team that could tell him exactly what to expect from German players.
No, definitely. Yeah, back in the day, most of the big teams comprised of players from, I guess, the domestic league. Maybe bar Brazil and maybe France to some extent, who had players who some of their top players are playing in like La Liga and EPL and what's not, right? But like it's spread out is been spread out so much that some of these players who are playing for the small countries, or the countries that don't are not considered big horses for the World Cup, they have been exposed to what other players can be doing in their domestic league and how big teams fare as well too, right?
So
Yeah.
to an
Um,
extent, I would agree with that, with the exception of Saudi Arabia, because I think. But with that being said, I think that probably 9 of those guys all play together for the same club in Saudi Arabia as well too. But I think it's also a matter of, like, with the global game expanding so much more now, it's you have more time to scout the other team. I think the international managers did their homework on the other teams and realized, okay, they may be vulnerable for this, or they may be already underestimating us. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. But we're gonna make sure it's also, I think it's more about playing with the pride for your country. When you put on that shirt, that this may be your one and only chance to play in the World Cup. I guess when you play for like one of the bigger clubs, like you pretty much assume you're going to qualify, or one of the bigger countries, you pretty much assume you're going to qualify. And so you're like, okay, if you mess up, you got the next chance. For some of these smaller
yeah,
countries, it's like, this is it. So you better make sure you go out there and you give your all. We're going
but
to do our
let's be real.
scouting
Let's,
for it as
let's
well
be
too.
real. Saudi Arabia and Qatar. We never know when next we'll see them in the next
That's
World
my
Cup.
point. That's my point right there. So it's real easy to motivate off that. This may be your one and only chance to play at the World Cup international stage. It could also be you want to get a move abroad to another league. Guess what? The entire world is watching right now. You put in a good performance here. Now you may be on somebody's transfer list. So
That's
it's
true.
real easy. It's a lot easier to motivate that than somebody who plays for. I'm just going to throw it out there, Brazil, and I'm not saying this because they played bad, but it's like, well, you expect to qualify every year, and you know what, whatever, you'll be back next year to have another opportunity at it.
But then again, you gotta. I see what you're saying, Devin, but there's some big countries out there that have such a big pool of players and big pool of talent to choose from, right? France and Brazil are two examples of countries who if you look at their starting lineup, the next 3 or 4 players under them in each position all have talent and can possibly start for maybe top 3 or 4 clubs across Europe, in my opinion, right? So,
I agree. I agree,
yeah,
but I also think that complacency may come into that as well too.
true.
AKA,
Complacency will definitely.
AKA the England national team versus USA.
I don't.
That's true.
Well, I mean, we could touch on that right now. It was football versus soccer, and for some reason, football failed, and now you got people that say the word soccer. And let's be real, USA were all over England in that game, man. I was so
Correct.
disappointed. I was so
Correct. They
England.
wanted it more. They clearly wanted it more.
The
And it
best, the
seemed it
best
Football
seemed that
players.
already
England
failed. Gareth
it
Southgate
seemed that
failed.
England let all their goals out in the Iran game, and thought, yeah, we walked over them. We can sit there and do the same, and we can walk all over USA as well. USA came in and said, nah, that ain't happening. We want this more than you. Watch. And they were unlucky to not get the win. I have to be honest with that. I also do not understand for the life of me how Mason Mount is still starting, how Phil Foden cannot even get a look.
I Lord knows this.
Well, I think that was trending on all social media with regards to when that England match was going on. Like, why is first things first? Why is Gareth Southgate taking off Jude Bellingham and bringing on Jordan Henderson? Think about it and say it slowly. I am looking to win a match versus a team that isn't on my level, and the first thing I decide to do is take off one of my best midfielders and put on another midfielder. Not a forward or striker, another midfielder. Makes absolutely no
And I
sense.
mean, and it's something else that was interesting. It was like England turned into a whole different side when Jack Grealish was brought on. Anybody else notice that?
Yep,
Well, I mean,
they were being a bit more progressive with
I
the
think the likes
ball.
of Jack Grealish, Phil Ford, and Marcus
But I mean,
Rashford.
you have so much you have so much firepower on the bench. I'm surprised you did not rotate. You didn't. He did not rotate them even more to go for it. But it's now you got to go and get the result against Wales, who are a team that are in a corner right now. Are going to throw everything at you in
And
this next match.
because of that rivalry, Wales is going to play very hard
Exactly.
on
I
purpose.
mean, and so to me, my thinking was very simple. If I'm Gareth Southgate, you're going for the win in this match, and then against Wales, then you can rotate players and make sure they get valuable minutes. If you have many of the main starters who may have injury concern, things like that, give them a little bit of a rest. Let them recover and do things from that. Now you got to play them again in this match, which is a rivalry again as well, and now you're risking injury to them because they got to play an extra match. So it's
Yep.
just to me, I don't understand it. I don't
Yeah.
understand his thinking. And now
The
I
thing,
think it's Tuesday they play, so it's gonna be interesting to say the least.
the thing is though, and the thing with it is when you finish, like with France, you want your 6 points one time. Here's 6 points, rotate. Because look at the whole thing with Brazil. Brazil has to play the Switzerland game for the 3 points because we already have two injuries till the round of 16. Get that over with so you could rest players. I don't know why England decided to play for a draw when you could really just finish the game, put USA in a corner, and the Wales game you just could rotate how you want to rotate. I mean, I could play for the draw for the Wales game when I have my 2 points, my 6 points already. So it doesn't make any sense. So for me,
It makes
I
sense.
feel like that. Yeah.
It makes
Yes,
sense
babe?
when you consider the fact that it makes sense when you consider the fact that Southgate is a crap coach,
Yeah.
a
True.
literal crap coach with crap tactics. Because
That is
they
true.
are sitting back, they're sitting back on 4 points. And the sad thing about it is, even when, as I hope, they lose to Wales at 4 points because of their superior goal difference, may very well see them through, right?
But is it true?
So
Is it true that once England meets a decent side, they crumble?
Yeah.
Uh,
You-
well, in the last Euro tournament, it wasn't really. Let me think about that. Who? Because they did beat Germany along the way, correct?
yeah.
so
But yeah,
And then,
but
that
that
final,
was a Germany side that was going downhill. Come on, let's be real.
so no, I'm trying to think. Well, Denmark. Let me see. They played Denmark in the semifinal. They played Germany in the knockout round. They destroyed Ukraine. This is before
Yeah,
the war. Um, and then they
but
kind of
they
had this
weren't
whole
really
big run into
until
the World Cup. So yeah, I mean, in theory, it could make sense. They should have beat Italy, but apparently, you think parking the bus against Italy for 87 minutes was going to work in that final. So yeah, I predicted this before, where I said that this will be Southgate's last tournament as England manager, and it seems like he keeps on doing what he's doing. It's going to come true, and that Chelsea job will be there for him shortly. So.
let me move on to a match yesterday where I think most of the world was watching because after their first result versus Saudi Arabia, all it took was one loss, and Argentina would have been out of the World Cup. And then with this whole Messi versus Ronaldo debate still going on, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of Argentina Lionel Messi fans were messaging me saying, "What you saying now? What you saying now?" Right? And I had two words for them, and the two words were Lissandro Martinez. Those are the two words I have for them.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, Otamendi isn't that great for Argentina. A lot of Argentina fans have been asking for Romero and Lissandro Martinez to be starting, right? And I had them silent because they were telling me that, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo this and Lionel Messi this. And I'm like, yo, look and see how Argentina did not concede and looks more solid in defense when Lissandro Martinez is in your defense. Forget Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi was there versus Saudi Arabia, and you guys lost. Lissandro Martinez, what a centre back for Argentina. But
Just what I said
Argentina,
about in general. Yeah, exactly. But that was another example of what I was thinking where, yeah, they started out slow, but in a way, that could also be the wake-up call that they needed.
And also
So,
too,
go ahead.
no, but also too, we also have to give credit to Mexico in that the problem with Mexico, they took the foot off the gas. They got frustrated and they kind of played into Argentina's game because if you watch the first half, Mexico was right there with Argentina. They were
yep,
literally keeping up with them. But no, Mexico decided they wanted to let Argentina play and control the pace and play on the counter when in fact Saudi Arabia showed you that you can't do that. You have to play
Well,
Argentina
it was.
up
I
front.
think it's also the fact that you have to remember, like Mexico's goalkeeper turns into the best goalkeeper in the world every single World Cup.
Yeah.
So I think they were depending upon a lot on that, and so it's like, yeah, we can take risks because we have him in the goal. Let's not forget it took two world class strikes to beat him in that. Like the
Yep.
shot from Messi through distance, so in the corner, had no chance of that, and then Enzo Fernando's strike was absolutely like phenomenal.
Yep.
It was better than Messi's strike, and I don't think any keeper is stopping those. So I think they were depending a lot upon that, and it goes where Argentina got their wake up call. They realized what they had to do. They had to do, which is what I was saying. I think the Saudi Arabia loss, it worked out. It works good for them because you would rather lose early like that as a wake up call, a reminder where yeah, you can't just show up here and think that just because you're this team that you can come out here and do whatever you want. You need to continue to play. You need to go hard. It's not going to be easy at all times. You got to dig in, and so that's the wake up call. You go from there and you move on. So they did what they have to do, but let's see what happens in their next match now.
is it
But
possible
remember,
that
if
Argentina still
they
go home?
finish,
Yes.
yes, it is
Yes.
very much so. A loss
A loss
definitely
and a
sends them
Mexico win,
home.
I think, yeah, by a certain goal differential, could knock them out.
A loss sends them
If,
home. They
if
stay on
Poland
three
if
points
Poland
because
if
Mexico has
Poland
one.
beats if Poland beats Argentina and Saudi Arabia beats Mexico, that's it.
Hmm.
Right? No, either win, either Saudi Arabia or Mexico.
But
Because
Mexico
remember,
has to
Mexico
win.
has one.
Mexico has to win by a goal difference of I think 3 goals or more.
Yeah.
No, remember they have a point. They drew 0-0 with Poland. So Argentina right now has only 3. So if
Yeah, but
Mexico wins, they
so
go to 4.
if Mexico, so let's say Argentina. Yeah, you are right though, because if Mexico wins, Mexico will go on 4 points. If Saudi Arabia wins,
Either
they'll go on 4 points.
side winning that game, once Argentina loses, they're out.
Yeah, so it all
Once
comes
there's a
down to
positive
Argentina
result
losing.
on either side.
And plus too, it's possible for Argentina to lose because Poland is, although they're inconsistent on their day, they are very, very. It's a hard side to break down, and when they catch you, they catch you.
So you know something interesting about that as well too. If things go the way how I think that they're going to go, if Argentina finishes runner up, guess who they play in the
France,
next round?
France,
France,
Exactly.
Yikes! They
Exactly.
get France. They get France.
If you finish runner up, as long as France's group finishes the
So
way that I think it will,
who's top of this Argentina group now? Poland.
yep,
Yep.
Yeah, because Poland drew and lost.
yep.
Poland's the only team that hasn't lost a match yet.
and then
Mm-hmm.
I think Saudi Arabia and Argentina are tied for second and third on everything.
Yeah, possibly.
Yes,
Yeah,
Because
both have
I
goals.
think both
Argentina
both
has
finished
it.
0.
Argentina has it on goal difference over them.
They do. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
one.
they
Oh, yeah,
Argentina.
Yeah.
because they scored one in the game against Saudi Arabia. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it's going to come down to does Barca's current leading striker want to eliminate their former idol?
But Lewandowski never shows up for country, so I mean, I want to really
Well,
rely on Lewandowski.
he did score. He did score at the
That
last
was only one
match.
goal. That was only one goal. Lewandowski hasn't showed up in the Euros, hasn't showed up this World Cup. As well, he scored last match, but I know Robert Lewandowski is not that great for Poland. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And I think it's this group and another group that sets up a really good match day. I think the group with England in it sets up a really good match day, and also this Argentina group as well too. Right? Um,
Yeah,
moving.
that USA Iran game. Oh, that game is gonna be. I
That
actually
game, that's not about the football, son.
that game may be the match of the tournament.
Well,
The USA versus Iran.
oh my God, you're terrible
That
about
game, that game is not about the football, son.
It's
That
But
not
game
just
is
about
because
about
you're talking not only the political stuff aside, you're also talking two teams right now who have to win to have to make it out of the group. So they are both gonna go
that is
for it
true.
hard.
And
But with that being said, though, it is kind of advantage US right now because because of the goal differential, in my opinion. Now,
but
with
it
that being
wasn't.
said, I know that Iran is on 3 points and US is on two.
It's on two, yeah.
So it's gonna be. I know US is gonna go for it, and Iran is gonna sit back and try to hit him on the counter. But don't be surprised to see a lot of bookings and possibly sending offs in that game.
I know.
Yep.
I
And
already
maybe
I already
celebration.
stated that game going to be the game of the group stages, and I definitely looking forward to it on Tuesday for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, with regards to United players who have performed this World Cup, I think we have 13 players out, and by out I mean they are representing their countries
Is it
this
13 or
World
12?
Cup.
only two have not played yet. I think it's only Dallo and Tellez who haven't played yet.
And I don't think Taylor's going to play.
Nah,
Right? So,
Nah, Taylor's
well, we
not
don't
play.
know. Well, Danilo is injured. Danilo is out. So let's see what's
Nah,
gonna happen. How they gonna
they
tweak
still
it?
have
But
they still have men like Militao one thing, so I'm not sure if they would
He may
play.
play in the third group stage match if Brazil wins the
Yeah,
next game.
if we like say if we win 2-0 and
yeah,
we already qualify, yeah, he'll rotate the back line because I feel like he has to rotate with Cameroon because Cameroon is going to be a physical game in itself.
oh yeah. But yeah, in terms of the United players that stood out for me thus far, obviously Casemiro for Brazil, he was immense in that first match.
I want to hear a name. I want to hear a name of somebody you criticize all the time. Come on, say it. Say it.
Say it,
Say it. Say it.
say it,
Say it. You
say
know,
it.
For anyone who is watching this here, a certain player got 2 assists for Portugal.
And what is that player's name?
That player should have been given man of the match instead of Cristiano Ronaldo. I do not know how the
Ah,
hell
say
I
the
don't know
name,
how
no.
the hell Cristiano
Say the name,
Ronaldo.
no. Say the name, no.
listen.
It was a
I'll
great.
do the Encanto
There were
for
two
Phil.
great. There were
I'll
two
do it.
great passes to Rafael Leao. The second for that third goal, and the first goal for the first
Hmm.
pass for Joe Felix were two good passes. That's all I will say.
say the English. Say the English defender that you want to say.
Ladies and
You always
gentlemen,
Yes,
criticize, and the man is
the
playing
theme
great
song,
right now for England. You
I.
know you
the,
want to say
I
the
know
it.
what's
theme song
crazy.
of today's program.
You know what's crazy though? The world's best defender, Kevin De Bruyne, ain't have no 2 assists yet. But the two names that we shall not speak have 2 assists.
Yep,
What is that?
Listen.
Crazy.
yep.
The theme
Was
song of
everything
today's
good?
program, according to Phil, is "We don't talk about Bruno, no, no."
Ah!
As we all
Hey, yo.
But guys,
as we all know, right? A guy by the name of Harry Maguire turns into Harry Maldini when he puts on that three lines uniform, and he has been solid for England thus far. Versus USA and versus Iran, but Iran didn't really put up a fight, but he played well versus USA for sure. And
He should have won a penalty versus Iran too. Don't
he
forget.
should have. He should have.
Yeah, he should have gotten the penalty.
But at the end of the day, these performances that you are putting in for your country, can you replicate them when you put on the red of Manchester United? That's all I'm asking, right?
no, he can't.
So Who else? Who else? Rafael Varane played well and got, I think, 70 minutes for France versus
Yep.
Denmark.
Well, we
Christian
mentioned Lissandro.
Ericsson has been phenomenal. Lissandro, and so this is going to sound bad what I say about Lissandro right now. That's the level we expect at all times from him. So like even if he has like an average game, it's going to seem like he had like a shit game because he puts in those performances club and country. So as great as he played, it's expected, and so he's already started. We expect that no matter what. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
would you?
I,
What
I,
question
I
though?
understand what Devin is saying, but at the end of the day, Argentina didn't concede. That's how I see it. And Argentina, you saw the difference between Christian Romero and
Exactly.
Otamendi versus Otamendi and Lissandro Martinez, right? And I will echo it again. Lissandro Martinez has set that standard for himself
He said
while coming from Manchester United, right? So he continues to portray this
correct.
sort of standard for Argentina as well, too, right? So Christian Eriksen, Harry Maguire, Lissandro Martinez. I saw Falcando Palestri play for Uruguay. He wasn't bad. There were some decisions that he could have done better.
Yeah.
Who are the players we got out now? Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has been playing well for England. He has.
Luke Shaw's been playing well
Yeah.
too. Malacia.
Malacia hasn't
Well,
started.
they're having good games with
Rashford,
Netherlands.
Rashford came out in 3 touches and scored.
Yeah.
So
But Malacia hasn't gotten a game for Netherlands, no?
Yeah.
I think he came on.
off the bench. I think he's come off the
Came off
bench.
the bench. He came
What
off the
question
bench.
though? What question though? Where would you all rank Lissandro in terms of top centre backs right now though?
At the
In
World Cup or in the World?
In EPL World Cup or in Europe?
World Cup, yeah, World Cup. World Cup so far.
So he's on. So and this is going to be my dilemma with this right now. He's only played 1 match. Yes, he got the clean sheet in that. I need to see it consistency like over more than just 1 match to give rankings on that. So I
No,
cannot.
but he was solid when he came on in the first game.
Yeah,
They
he looked solid
conceded before he came on.
No, he didn't play the first game. I don't think.
No, he
He came on. He came on late in the game. After they were behind 2-1, he came on. So he was solid in the first game. But apart from that, I just want to flip it a little bit. After looking at a week of games, which United player are you upset wasn't taken to the World Cup? And I'll throw my name out there first. Garnacho would have made a difference on Argentina. As much as I'm not an Argentine fan, watching how they played those 2 games, that youth would have made a real big impact.
A United player that I'm disappointed. I could kind of flip it back where the United players that didn't make it to the World Cup, I'm kind of glad because those type of players will kind of be starting for us after this World Cup. So Tony Martial, in my opinion, Garnacho, in my opinion, should be starting for United as well. And I think that's it, yeah, per se.
It's only Garnacho.
Yeah,
everybody else, you kind of understand why they didn't get picked. Like you can understand why Martial didn't get picked.
Yeah,
you can see. I
thought he did have a chance when Benzema went down that they need to bring in a replacement for him.
Nah, and plus, I'm not even mad at De Gea not getting picked because it gives De Gea time to rest. We left him on good form. Keep stay home. I know vex. Get yourself together. Jadon Sancho, hate to say it, but yeah, he had to stay home. Can't be mad at that.
Yeah. Marcus Rashford, he scored versus Iran. I think he should have gotten more minutes versus USA, but that's Gareth Southgate for you, right? In my opinion, if Harry Kane is experiencing any injury, rest him and start maybe Marcus Rashford up top and maybe Callum Wilson. I don't know if Callum Wilson has enough experience for the international stages yet. So I'll start Marcus Rashford up top. And obviously to the right to be Bukayo Saka and on the left, Raheem Sterling, right? For some reason, Mason Mount got a whole bench and then I'll put Phil Foden right behind Mason Mount.
So you wouldn't, so I would actually not start Sterling and I would start Grealish.
Yeah.
Well, Sterling
Not
hasn't been
also
that
and
bad
also
okay.
because he's had 2 games now at that. You rotate the side, keep people fresh, and you go at them from the beginning.
So the way probably Southgate sees it is that Jack Grealish is that difference maker, right? So I let's put it another way. Let's put it another way. If Jack Grealish has not that great of a game, I can't see Raheem Sterling as a difference maker, right? That's how I see it. So, what other United players are at the World Cup right now? I think we went through all of them. Yeah,
Uh
Uh,
huh.
Hannibal.
Hannibal
Yeah,
put the leash.
You see
he's got a
Hannibal
couple
throw
of
the ball
minutes, but
on the ground.
Who?
Hannibal, when the guy was on the ground, he threw the ball at him from the bench.
yeah.
I heard about that, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, Hannibal is
Pellistri.
there.
We got
Yeah,
Pellistri.
yeah. We
Yeah,
spoke, we
I
spoke
saw
about
Preston here,
Pelistri. We
but
spoke about him. Oh, come on. We got to shout out Pastor Fred, man. I mean, come on. Come
Almost scored though.
on.
He almost
Almost scored
scored though.
Pastor Fred.
yeah, Fred had a shot on target, and I was like, yo, if this goes in, and Anthony as well. So
My
Anthony, I was surprised. Not well, I wasn't really surprised, but I saw Tite put Anthony on the left, and then
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
Rafinha was on the right. But then obviously when Rafinha got subbed off, Gabriel Martinelli came on, and then Anthony went
And
to the
then
right.
he
And
switched over to the right. Yeah.
makes total sense, right? But
For
yeah,
me,
I guess the three standout players for me are Casemiro,
yeah, boy.
Harry Maguire, oh gosh, and the guy with the 2 assists for Portugal.
You can't even say his name.
God. But Phil, I want to ask you something.
So hold on,
Um,
hold on. So is Big Phil finally acknowledging Bruno Fernandes?
I called him.
Hey, hey, yo.
no. So I'm seeing Phil wearing a France T-shirt. So Phil, would you say that the amount of injuries that France has was actually a blessing in disguise for Mbappe to kind of stamp his authority on this team?
The kind of injuries that France has. What do you mean?
Well, Benzema's injured, Pogba's out, right? They didn't
And
call up
Kuku.
anybody.
Yeah, but
And
So
Kuku.
I think what I hear
who was the
was
star? Who was the star of France's last World Cup when they won? Kylian Mbappe. So Mbappe
yeah.
already has Kylian Mbappe has already put forward his name at the last World Cup.
It's
So
weird because Benzema's a Ballon d'Or, but everybody knows the face of France is Mbappe. So
yeah,
I don't think it makes any difference at all.
I feel sympathy that Benzema had to. Benzema was out of the France squad for some issues per se, and then he had to work his
Ridiculous
way.
issues.
He had to work his way back up to being the number one starter, not only for France but for Real Madrid as well too. I was playing behind CR, and then all of a sudden he just wins the Ballon d'Or, and now he has to sit on the sidelines because of an injury. I feel bad for him, right? But will he be missed? Yes and no. Yes, because of the season he just had, and he definitely is a better option than Olivier Giroud and Antoine Griezmann. But with the likes of Dembele not being injured, so that when Dembele is not injured, he's somebody you can.
Shuffling songs by then.
What the hell, Alexa?
Yeah, and you know what the crazy part about that is now too is the fact that Giroud I think is now one behind Henri in the all-time scoring
Yes,
list
he
for
is.
France. So and he will probably get it in this World Cup.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's interesting to see it
At,
that way.
at the end of the day, when you can take off Dembele and then bring on Kingsley Coleman, and then for these guys to do a job, I still, as much as I'm not a big fan of Adrian Arabio, he kind of has that experience to have the likes of Tushimeni express himself as well too, right? But we'll see how far France goes, because I think an injury to Mbappe might be a detriment to this France squad. So let's see. Um, Brazil, another team that
They did not disappoint. They did
they did
not
not
disappoint.
they
They
did
did what
not
they had to do.
they did not
It took
disappoint.
them a while to get going, but they did what they had to do.
I was talking to a Brazil fan at my gym, right? And he was like, he's gonna miss Neymar. And I was like, explain why, right? Because Brazil has all this plethora of talent. And he broke it down in terms of, at the end of the day, Neymar, yeah, he's known for his theatrics and simulation, right? But Neymar is one of these guys that frees up the other Brazilian players around him, right? Neymar draws 3 to 4 players onto him. If 3 to 4 players on the other opposition team are drawn towards one guy, that frees up at least 2 or 3 other Brazilians who can have a chance at goal, right? And it
So
does make sense per se,
it
right?
does make sense, but I still disagree because of the talent that Brazil has. So you
Also
focus
too.
on one player now, okay? Because you forget Casemiro's got a shot. When Fred comes on, Fred can shoot for Brazil, not for United. You also have, and then you now, and Richarlison's now making a name for himself as well too. He just announced himself to the world. So
Also,
you pretty much got to pick your poison out of that. Who you focus on.
So
So
apparently,
also
and this
too.
apparently
this question
Richarlison
reason.
gained 4 million followers after that goal.
Exactly.
4 million.
Exactly. After scoring the goal of the tournament in his first match.
Also
So
too.
yeah, it's no
Yeah.
problem. I disagree. It's you got to pick your poison, which one you're going to mark. But you're gonna have to single mark somebody. And
Also
I
too.
think every single I don't see a weakness in that Brazil attack. I really don't.
But the thing is like, okay, if you saw the Serbia game, because I was watching how when Neymar got cold and they took out and they put Martinelli and they started to put Anthony, you started to see that when Neymar is not there, it's not that he holds up the ball unnecessary. But you can see that TJ plays two different styles when Neymar is on and when Neymar is off. So when Neymar is off, you tend to see the football a bit faster in a crazy way. Because the chances we were making after Neymar left was through just raw pace, raw dribbling, and creating of space. Because if you watch it, the first goal was Neymar really and truly drawing out main attackers and it
Exactly.
allowed Vinicius to get the shooting chance where Richarlison picks up the scraps. Another one is Vinicius getting
I
into these spaces and just crossing very well. And we have to give Vinicius that. The man crossing is crazy. It's
his
mad.
crossing was good, but his finishing was not there in this last
Yeah,
match.
yeah,
A lot of people underestimate Vinicius' pace as well too. I'm like, how can you
yeah,
underestimate the pace? This guy fast.
yeah. Because the thing is, a lot of defenders tend to look at. He's not the tallest player. He's not the tallest player. First thing first. So you often feel if they get physicality on him, they will knock him off easily, not knowing that when he gets his jets off, you're not getting him. You're
No,
not gonna catch him because even if you're watching the Switzerland game without Neymar, Brazil is at a point where Neymar isn't the focal point. The team is the focal point. There is not a we waited on Neymar to do something. Neymar is important, and yes, Neymar is a part of the team, but he's not the team like they used to be back then.
So I have a question right now for everybody on the panel.
Mm.
Is it Brazil or is it France right now the team to beat at the World Cup?
Honestly, I gotta be humble about it. It's low key France.
um,
I, I, um,
team to beat.
I want to argue that Brazil still has more depth on their bench. I want to argue that just for that point alone, the fact that they still have that little bit more depth and quality on the bench, I would give them the edge.
Yeah, because let's be real. Brazil bringing on the likes of Fred, while France bringing on the likes of Eduardo Camavinga, right? Just to put it out there, right? Um, but no, in terms of the team to beat, obviously the World Cup champions are from 2018 are France, right? By the end of the day, football plays on the day. So let's see how this goes. I want to see Brazil's second match because France has played 2 matches so far. Didn't look good in the first half versus Denmark, but then Mbappe just turned it up in the second half, right? So let's see how Brazil does versus Switzerland. That's Brazil's next match, or somebody else.
I think they have
Switzerland.
Switzerland, Cameroon.
Yeah, they can be. Those should
Switzerland
be.
is the next match, then Cameroon.
Yeah, those should be easy matches for Brazil, right? Um, let me see what the comments have here. Carlos is saying Carlos Reyes is saying, I support Mexico, and seeing Martinez as a United fan, I knew it was going to get what I knew it was going to be hard to get past.
He said he knew it was going to be hard to get past him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
well,
Yeah.
you're a United fan, so you know that, right? Based on based on the performance that Lissandro Martinez has been putting up this entire season, the guy has been, in my opinion, top three centre backs in the EPL. Probably maybe number one, but we'll discuss that another time because if Arsenal fans see this, they may say, "Oh, Saliba this and all this bullshit," right? But anyway, next question, Carlos is saying, well, not next question, next statement. Rashford would do better as a starter striker at England. Well, we'll see if Gareth Southgate starts Rashford versus Wales. We'll see because Harry Kane. Actually, no. Harry Kane has been performing well for both, but he hasn't scored as yet, right? So let's see.
So yeah, Harry Kane has been setting up assists, so that is a big factor as well too.
Yeah, because Harry Kane did assist Marcus Rashford, right? Yeah.
So it's a matter of time before, and if Southgate can get his act together with the England side, on paper, they have a squad that should go far in this tournament. But Southgate's tactics, I still think are going to cost them.
Especially when he meets a serious team. Eh?
Four players. Well, four players that I want to call. I think three are linked to United, and one player I would love to see at United. I'll start with the one player I would like to see at United, and that's Jude Bellingham. Would you guys take him at United?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yep.
Been saying that for a while.
But is the only thing is he, we gonna get our eyes gouged if we go for him, right? Like it's gonna be he says more than 100 million for him. So
it's about 130.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it.
I'm gonna be one back Sancho.
So yes, but my whole thing is you bring somebody in with that. That's our midfield for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
You said Dortmund wants back Sancho.
We say ask them if they want back Sancho and we can work out a deal.
No. He's saying swap Sancho.
Because apparently we got Sancho, not Sancho.
Nah.
I haven't lost faith in Sancho as yet. Sancho just going through a rough patch, but I know the Sancho that we supposed to get, and I haven't lost faith in him as yet. So
yeah. Also,
yeah,
too,
I see him after the World Cup now. I think he's actually going to go on a little run after this World Cup.
Yeah,
you see him training on his own, and instead of vacationing off somewhere, he's out there training, doing all the right things he's supposed to be doing. He's putting his head down. I think this is a wake up call, which is why I'm hoping the England side goes far, and so that's extra motivation for Sancho to be like, I want to get back in this side. I know I should be in this side right now, and I need to put in the work to make sure I get back there. And once I get back there, I know the level that it takes to stay there, and I will put in extra work on top of it to make sure that I don't lose a spot again. That's my hope for Sancho right now. I still have faith in that. Now, my fear, and my biggest fear is that you may have Agent Holland calling up Jude and saying, come to City.
Right now, the forerunners for Jude Bellingham are Liverpool, unfortunately. But
Liverpool can't afford him. Liverpool can't afford him, and Liverpool, unless Liverpool finish in the top four, he's not going there. I can tell. I think realistically, I think he goes to Real Madrid before anybody else because they already need a replacement for Modric, and he will be the natural one. And he will.
They got Camavinga and Tuchemani. I can't see Jude going there.
I could see that, and then you have Camavinga, Tuchemani, and Bellingham, like a young side like that to propel Real Madrid. To me, I see that.
I can see more. And if that's true about what you're saying about Liverpool, then I guess the next best option would probably be City. But that's why I
said my fear is Agent Holland talking to Jude Bellingham.
Let's just say we are bought by either the Saudis who are worth 15 billion or Apple who are worth 2 trillion, right?
Apple's not happening. Apple already pulled out.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, but it was just that would have been so funny. Imagine everybody seeing Apple buying Manchester United. That would be so hilarious. Imagine all these Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans looking to upgrade their phone. They ain't gonna upgrade to Android. Come on. They're not.
Somebody say Old Trafford, we call I Trafford.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying too.
I
But
Trafford.
I can tell you right now, who I want to buy who I want to buy United. I want the Dubai royal family.
Yeah, I think most
And
United fans are leaning towards
the reason
that.
being, Abu Dhabi and Dubai already compete against each other in tourism, a whole bunch of other things. You really think that like if Dubai comes in, Dubai is like they're always going against each other in the same city now in Manchester. Okay, they've done the thing with what they've done with Manchester City. Imagine what Dubai will come in and do with Manchester United when we
Yeah.
finally awake the sleeping giant that is Manchester United that the Glazers have neglected.
I don't
Imagine and not have
What I saw was that me and another guy had sort of a small discussion on this here with regards to the Crown Prince of Dubai, who's only worth 15 billion. I said that's impossible. He has to be worth more. Impossible. But I'm not going to complain.
also too.
Yes,
I
go
don't
see.
catch on. I also don't catch. Sorry to cut, but if you don't get Jude Bellingham, Enzo Fernandez isn't a bad shout, though. I really like him.
it's not. But I Jude Bellingham right now, yeah, for years to come. We've been watching him. It's unfortunate though. Like when we have the chance to sign him before he went to Dortmund, that we didn't get him. I understand why he didn't do it, and it makes sense now. But yeah, you got to go for him. You have to go for him.
Yeah.
You
Now,
wouldn't have
Listen,
been.
if he had stayed at United,
Hopefully, our new owners, and hopefully this is resolved. The sale is done soon, so it's come summertime. We're in with that bid right away.
now
Because
let me
we need.
let me go with the other three players that have been linked to United, which are Christian Pulisic, Rafael Leao, and Cody Gakpo.
Cody
Um,
Gakpo right now, his audition has been perfect in this World Cup, in my opinion.
but I can say this right now: players who have performed at the World Cup have flopped at United.
So, but here's the other thing right now with Gakpo, and I said this in the summer as well too. Look who his manager is at PSV.
Who are RVN?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he will have him prepped and everything ready to go for that. He will have been there. He will know exactly what it takes. You have that Dutch connection. You show okay, this is what it takes to shine at Old Trafford.
that's not the only Dutch connection.
He
Gakpo's
will have
agent
him ready for that. Yeah.
Gakpo and Ten Hag have the same agent. So Ten Hag can have all his discussions with Gakpo's agent without it being considered anything underhand because they have the same agent.
I did not know that Zahir, but
Yep,
I learned
yep.
something tonight. That's good to hear.
Gakpo and
Yeah,
Ten Hag have the same
it's that
agent.
set football agency and ones who deal with who have them all together. So don't be surprised.
And plus, too, when I heard that he agreed in principle, I'm not saying that I feel like it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised because with Van Gaal, he doesn't want any announcements of players at the World Cup right now. So
Hmm.
it's an agreement in principle. And on top of it, as the connection we talking, I feel Eric Ten Hag with the whole Cristiano Ronaldo situation, Eric Ten Hag has been tapping up his agent saying, hey, a space open, I need a striker, and we get a new owner. Make it happen. Let me make it
So
happen.
I
With
can assume
that,
I can assume everybody here.
with that being said, I will always stick by the same rule that I have whenever transfer windows open up and everything too. You see us getting, you
Fabrizio.
see us rumors and all this stuff too. Until the player is holding up the shirt, I do not believe anything 100%. So we can hope, we can be
Yeah,
aware about it,
I think
but
most of us are
don't
like that.
put
Yeah.
too much into it until. But even then, like maybe when you start seeing the medical, it's scheduled, then you can start thinking it's serious. But I don't believe it until they're holding the shirt.
So I can assume everybody here would welcome Cody Gakpo to United, or is there anybody here that
Yes,
wouldn't want him?
yes.
Yeah,
All right.
like
The last two players that I mentioned are Christian Pulisic and Rafael Leao. Would you take both of them? Would you take one of them or one over the other? Would you take none of them?
Definitely not
Rafael
Pulisic.
Leao probably, but with that being said, I also Gakpo right now. You have to get him before somebody else says we need that immediate replacement. So that is welcome for me in the January window. I also still think we need another right back.
Will Gakpo be cup tied for Europa
Yes,
League?
yes. which is fine. Because then, okay, you know what, you can
Um,
save him for the league, and then you can let Martial run loose, Martial and Rashford run loose in the cup.
So
But
you're saying that you would not take Rafael Leao. You wouldn't take him.
no, it's not that. It's I would go Gakpo first, get him now because we need that immediate replacement up top. But then we also need to prioritize the right back. Because right now,
But
what happens if Dalot goes down? Okay, you maybe bring Malacia over there, but I would like to have at least two wing backs or two full backs that we can depend upon on each side. So I think we still need to prioritize another right back.
Yeah, yeah.
for me, if you look at Gakpo and Leao, the one that seems will be grabbed up quicker is Gakpo. So we have to
if
move for him. I don't think there'll be as much of a risk of losing out on Leao if we wait till the summer, right? Gakpo, we have to get him now. If we don't get him now, we in trouble.
um
We will get
on
him.
top of it, if you look at it, to get Leao, no, it it kind of doesn't make any sense when you think about it with the right back situation and the fact that we have actual wingers at United. Like, if you look at it, we have wingers. We just need a striker.
But Leao can play up top as well too, right? But let me put it in another situation. Let's say we do get Gakpo and Martial gets another one of his injuries. Who do we have up top then, right? That's how I think about it. What about Christian Pulisic? I've seen some United fans that will take Christian Pulisic at
No,
Manchester United. Though I'm
no,
past that.
Nah,
I'm
no,
past
no, no,
Christian
no.
Pulisic.
So here and this is my issue with this right now, and I'm saying this living in the U.S. right now. I think you only sign Christian Pulisic to sign shirt to sell shirts in the U.S. It's a marketing signing because what will he bring to the club? That's a difference maker. Except you get the USA fan base who isn't fans already on top of it. My point is we're doing this new regime away from the old model with the Glazers. You bring him in, it's doing the same thing over and over again.
and on top of it too,
I just don't think he's good enough to play for Manchester United.
and on
And
top of it too,
it clearly shows at Chelsea right now because he can barely get off the bench right now under how many managers now?
and plus
So
too,
it's
he
just
injury prone as
only a
well.
marketing signing, and no, we don't need that. We need players who can come in and make an impact.
Yeah,
So I
he,
know, I know, I know he's a boyhood fan and all that too, but you got to put emotions aside. You got to think about it from the purely footballing perspective. So no.
And, and on top of it, he's kind of injury prone as well. So it's like,
Now the next one, and this one, if we need somebody on loan just for coverage and things like that, just till the end of the season, I would take that. And then if he
oh,
impresses,
it's a loan. Yeah, it's a loan. Yeah.
yeah, for a loan,
Yeah.
if we don't get anybody else and we need coverage, fine, fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Another
But if you're
another
trying to
another
get him on the
name
permanent side, and then you know what, he's a boyhood United fan. Let's see. You give him the
another
opportunity coverage
another
when it comes
name
on. Let's
brought
see what
up to
happens.
me. Another name brought up to me by a couple United fans over the last couple of days was Jonathan David as well too.
His
I
name has
like
been brought,
Jonathan
his name
David.
been brought up in the summer as well too. I think.
I
Why
like
not
him.
João Felix?
Joe Felix is another injury prone player in my opinion, but so is Usman Dembele, and both of them are performing pretty well for our country right now. And Usman Dembele and Joe Felix were doing well for their respective clubs. If I had to go off what Devin said in terms of right back, the right back that I'm looking to bring, if it's possible, will be Denzel Dumfries.
Denzel. Yep. Yep.
Him. And I was shouting his name in the last Euros before he went to Inter Milan, right? So he's still 26 maybe, I think, yeah, 26 or
Yeah,
27, yeah.
26.
Yes, I would definitely bring him for sure. Um, but yeah, other than that, man, I would take Christian Pulisic on loan if it was between Rafael Leao and Cody Gakpo. Definitely Gakpo for sure. Um, he would then be used in the league versus Europa League. It will be cup tied. And yeah, before we
What,
end,
what, one other name quickly on the red back.
yeah,
If you can't get Dumfries, how do you all feel about Serginho Dest?
I
No.
like
Mm,
him as well too.
No. I don't think so.
But I think USA playing him in the wrong position because USA got him at left back. He's not actually a right back, right? So
It's a mixed bag.
yeah. Um, before we end, let's go through the World Cup fixtures for tomorrow. Just give me your prediction, right? So I can start at 5 in the morning. Jesus Lord, Cameroon and Serbia.
I have no work in the morning, so I will be up because of flooding. So
So your
Well,
prediction.
What? So for that one, I think it'll be another 0-0. Unfortunately, it'll be a very hard fought game,
yeah,
but I just don't see either team breaking through.
yeah, I would go with 0-0 as well.
draw.
All right, so everybody with a well, be more specific, CJ. You see a 0-0, 1-1, 2-2.
Oh, 0-0.
Okay, so
They both
every
of them don't really have that finishing power. Well, except Choupo-Moting.
yeah.
So yeah, 0-0.
But is Serbia that has
Mitrovic.
Dusan
Mitrovic, yeah,
Mitrovic and Dusan
Yeah,
Tadic.
Mitrovic, but he's still injury prone. So that's the issue with him.
yeah,
And the
but
thing is,
Serbia also got
Dusan,
Dusan Vlahovic, right? Yeah.
yeah, they have Vlahovic.
I
So,
might I might give Serbia the one love win over Cameroon, I might. One love to Serbia.
but I think it's like they have to because Choupo-Moting isn't on a bad form either. So if he gets a chance, he could bury it. So for me, whoever scores could possibly win the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 0-0.
What about the 8 o'clock game? Where's 8 o'clock my time? Probably 9 o'clock your time. South Korea and Ghana.
I
Min
am going on a
and
limb.
Thomas
Ghana
Hardy.
to win.
I'm going on a limb. Ghana could do it. Physicality, they have that pace there as well. They could do something.
What about you,
2-1
Devin?
to Ghana.
Yeah. 2-0 for me personally.
Unfortunately, it depends on which son shows up.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
What was your prediction?
If the son shows up, the Spurs son shows up, they will nick it just barely.
So
If he
one
doesn't,
left.
Ghana will win.
Yeah, I for some reason I got this as a 2-1 to Ghana. All right, 11 o'clock. Brazil versus Switzerland. Both
Is that even fair to ask on this panel right now?
Honestly,
both of their female fans look really good, but one team will come on top, right? So
honestly,
3-0 Brazil.
I am being humble about it. It could be a hard 2-1 win.
Brazil's gonna win, no matter what. Brazil's gonna win. So
But the thing is, Mbolo is a threat, Mbolo, he be balling.
Bree and
no,
Bolo,
it
boy,
goes like no, I don't like. Brazil is gonna have their strongest lineup for this one. So they're gonna want to, and they're gonna want to get the early lead and then start rotating already. They're gonna want to guarantee qualification and then rotate the side for the third match. So they're gonna go hard for this one to win. So I see that as already just a straight up win for them. If I'm a betting man, I'm taking them line. I'm not taking any spreads or anything. Just chicken money line. Brazil win.
Well, so if he was a better man, why you want to take Switzerland?
Because I do not see the upset happening.
If you were a betting man, would you have taken Argentina or Saudi Arabia?
The funny part about that is I actually lost my bet on that one.
Exactly. See?
Wait, your what?
Because Brazil, no, because I said Argentina was going to score 2 goals in the first half.
Devin, bet on Switzerland, okay? I tell you, you lost versus bet on Switzerland here. All just aside,
when I tell you how vexed I was that Argentina
we still have one game
in the first half. They scored the first penalty. I said, "Yeah, cool, Messi." Right after that, they start scoring goals. And when I saw the VAR for how close it was ruled offside,
how Lautaro Martinez was offside, boy. That guy can't stay onside for goal, boy.
I swear,
we still have one game.
He is the modern day Inzaghi.
Yes.
You remember what Sarali said about Inzaghi?
What is here for Brazil versus Switzerland?
3-0 for Brazil, and then of course we have the Portugal Uruguay game.
No, we get to that, but I just want to know your prediction.
3-0 Brazil.
3-0. I gonna go I'm gonna go probably three. I can say 2-0 to Brazil. 2-0 to
So
Brazil.
you're telling me take Switzerland if I'm a betting man, but you're all saying Brazil is going to win.
But I had a bet him on.
So
I go
I
gamble.
need to understand the logic here with this.
Devin,
Like I said,
take
I would
Switzerland.
take, I would just take Brazil straight up, no spread, no
No.
nothing, just like that.
You took Argentina and lost. Learn from your lesson, Devin. Learn from your lesson.
Trust me,
You
I've got some. Trust me, trust me.
All right, the last game is Uruguay versus Portugal. I got
Honestly, that could. I'm not sure about that. That could go either way. Cause like, if you're watching Portugal, if you watch Portugal defense, it was real sus.
it
It
was
was real sus.
and that goalkeeper boy.
Yeah.
He could have given it away, boy.
He's not gonna play. He's not gonna play the next game. There's no way.
Why?
But you know what the ironic part is? Weren't
He's
we
looking up.
looking at him before the World Cup?
Yeah,
If I remember correctly, we were seriously looking at him before this World Cup.
Oh, we ain't anymore.
Yeah. And then
So,
there's
It's
Um,
funny. It's funny you talk about if I were a betting man. This is the game that I would take Uruguay. That I would play a small
No,
wager on Uruguay in this game.
we
yeah.
got Portugal is gonna win this by is gonna win this probably 3 love because Darwin Nunez and Cavani just ain't finding anything. So
This is the one where I would actually play. I would actually play Uruguay with the spread. So Portugal may win, but at least you have the spread to cover with. So maybe they're favored by 2 goals, something like that. I don't know, but I would just play
3
Uruguay. In the spread.
goals from Portugal and 3 assists from you know who.
Say it. Say the name.
3
Say the name.
assists.
Say the name.
I'll tell you what.
No,
You say the
no.
name. You say the name. I will play Portugal.
3 assists from maybe Diego Dallo if he starts. You never know, right?
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
3
I
love.
would say
We love to Portugal and the
3-1
the,
to Portugal.
the rival part of me in terms of CR versus Messi. If CR does score, obviously you'll be sending your messages, but I could care less if CR score or not, right? But
Good evening,
I just
Courtney,
think
as well. Good to see you again, Courtney.
oh, CR?
No, Courtney Andrews.
Oh, okay. Let us know your predictions now for the Portugal game versus Uruguay. I say 3 love, 3 assists.
Honestly,
CJ,
3-1
I have
Portugal.
burned the Brazil jersey.
Never.
who could need us back? Who could need us back?
AC Milan.
So before
Right.
we right now, I'm pretty sure everybody saw the news about a certain player coming to this club over here. What's
Into
their
Miami?
right now?
That is not official as yet, but
I said, well, it's not official, but it's looking more than likely when you start seeing certain
it's
news
gaining a
reports.
lot of traction, and I know
But
for
it goes
sure.
it goes along with what I said. Until the player's holding up the shirt, you don't believe it. But I know we spoke about transfers and everything before. What's everybody think about that? And they make him if he comes the highest paid player
In MLS.
in MLS. Yeah, correct.
Well, I go in straight to see when they play in Toronto FC, and I buy that ticket. That's all. That's what I think.
The fun part about living here in Tampa Bay is a lot of teams come here for preseason. So I actually get I get to see a lot of players come here in preseason. So I will be there watching.
How far do you live from Inter Miami?
About 4 hours drive.
So you're gonna risk that?
No, I would wait for them to come here and then I'll watch them here in preseason.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, but
What's not here and CJ think about light
Well,
Inter.
But Devin, what you gotta do is you gotta go wearing your Manchester hat and Manchester jersey and ask him to sign it.
He probably would. That's the funny part.
And make sure you have.
No, because so it's also like, for example, when they came here, that's how I met Phil Neville when they came here. So I'm sure that Neville was talking about that and everything.
Not just your Manchester jersey, your Ronaldo Manchester jersey. And ask him to sign it.
He would. Messi. I feel like Messi would sign that.
Yeah, man, you hand anything in front, he'll sign it. So
Yeah,
and
Messi would sign that.
then on
You
top of
gotta
that,
get close. You gotta get close to him first.
I can speak Spanish to him as well too, and I think that will throw him off, which will make it fun.
You gotta get close to him first. I remember there's this one video. I think it was either 2 summers ago where because Messi has a house in Messi has a house in Miami.
Yeah, he
And
does. It's a penthouse in a condo. It's a penthouse on a tower.
yeah, and I remember
It has a
all
helicopter.
of, all of the neighbors were waiting outside for hours upon hours. And Messi was like, "Forget this. I go in downstairs and sign." And then he was like that for at least a good half an hour. So yeah, but let's see if this kit takes more traction because Lionel Messi to Inter Miami would definitely have more viewership for the US for sure.
It would be nice.
But
It would be nice.
it's also
The next
interesting
thing that would
because then that
happen,
means
if
what
that
happens
happens,
with the other fellow.
if
Who?
that happens,
What happens with the other fellow then if he goes to Inter Miami?
Newcastle.
well, no, he will go Galaxy. Trust me.
Inter Miami versus Los Angeles Galaxy.
Yep.
If one out of the two of them goes to MLS, the other will follow before long.
That's half
You
my
could-
pay.
you
That's
could
half my pay
imagine-
on Toronto. That's half my
Imagine,
pay on 2 Toronto FC tickets. Well,
but imagine this. Imagine this if David Beckham pulls it off, where he uses those two designated players for both of them at Miami.
Oh
that's
my lord!
impossible, Devin.
I don't think they could pay those salaries in
But
one
here's the
club.
thing, because you know what, you could pay them whatever you want at that point because it doesn't count. It does not count against their salary cap. So you could pay them whatever you want.
Devin. Impossible. That happens, and I will fly to Miami myself and stay with you.
I put it to you this way: I did not see it happening until I saw that Louis Vuitton ad with the two of them together on that photo, where it's like, oh, they could actually pose for an ad together. You never know.
But they're not looking at each other, so they still hate each other.
They don't have. I don't think they hate each other.
Nah, they got respect for each other for sure.
But
Like-
you could imagine that every single game is a sellout, like ridiculous prices to go, the security that you need for that. So you have the two of them, and then you have David Beckham there as well too in the middle of them.
Do you guys also have that area that like fans walk up to where they can sign like after the game?
Yeah. They have that after in Miami as well too.
So basically, you have to leave a game 10 to 20 minutes early just to get in.
Oh no. So you have you have to have a ticket to go into the area where they go after the game at
ticket?
Miami.
Yeah.
So it's like they
You know what
have
I
the
think
area
would be funny though?
it's right inside a fence where they go to sign afterwards.
Wait, say that again, Devin.
No,
You have to
that's-
have a ticket, right?
So like they have so you have like the ticket, like the area where you get your ticket to go in there. It's a general area. And it's almost like you have bleachers you walk up from Miami Stadium because remember it's a temporary stadium right now.
No, but what I'm saying is that if I'm at a game, I would have to leave that game 10 minutes early to go to the area that will sign.
Oh yeah. Probably at halftime if the two of them are there.
Halftime, you sure? Nah.
If you have the two of them, the two biggest names on the planet, yeah,
True.
you can imagine what security is going to be like for that.
I agree.
Bucks.
Even at Old Trafford, like I have to leave sometimes games 10, 15 minutes early to go and get when you see me with meeting players and things like that. That's how I have to do it as well too. You could imagine if you have the two of them together there.
If that happens, it happens. But until then, we got some World Cup matches coming up, and the guys gave their predictions. CJ, Zahir, and Devin, thank you very much for being on the show. This has been Big Phil, and this has been Old Talk with the United Hour.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and